Hello. We were looking at global cultures and the globalization of culture, and we said that it began with in the 1960s in an earlier wave with a fad for India and the West during the hippie movement, when Beatles' interest in the music of Ravi Shankar and Indian spirituality created a taste for Indian classical music in the West, and Indian music, Indian culture was largely equated with Ravi Shankar, sitar and tabla. But this also produced an image of India as or of Indians as spiritual, mystical, and not capable of having much fun. Now, in the mid 80s, a new genre of music emerged in UK, which altered the perception of Asians, South Asians in the West. And this music was a rustic music from North India, from the region of Punjab, called Bhangra, a harvest rite which was hybridized with Western beats and transformed into a new genre in the diaspora space. We will now look at this genre as an example of globalization of culture and of the reverse flows of culture, largely through the movement of Indians overseas. We'll first look at what the genre is and the various stages of its reinvention until the 1990s, when it's globalized. Bhangra is now understood to be hybrid music produced in Britain through mixing with Western beats, and it's transformed as Kool and as Asian dance music. It's been very important to the formation of diasporic groups, particularly diasporic youth. It returned back to India as British music, not as Indian music, in the 1990s, and became part of global popular culture. The Bhangra universe exhibits transnational collaborations between producers, transnational musical flows, appropriations by the popular music industry, and it has brought increased visibility to local producers and performers. Now, this new hybrid music produced by second generation British Asian youth by mixing Punjabi dhol beats with Western black rhythms is derived from the Punjabi folk genre of the same name, which has spawned other Bhangra mutants in India, such as Bhangra pop or Punjabi pop. When we look at the reinvention of Bhangra in the mid 80s, we need to contextualize within the metropolitan celebration of hybridity, but that's how Bhangra has largely been viewed. But when we look at it from the position of purity, a different debate emerges. So, on one hand, we have the metropolitan celebration of hybridity, on the other we have a local fetishization of purity, and the purity fetish, which leads to boundary crossing, which frowns upon boundary crossings, and we will see how Bhangra appears from the Indian perspective, particularly from the Punjabi perspective, which looks at it from the framework of purity rather than that of hybridity. Bhangra was largely greeted, particularly in the home state of Punjab, where it originated, with a lot of suspicion. The new Bhangra mutants, the hybrid Bhangra mutants produced in Britain as well as those in India, were frowned upon. And when it returned to India in the 1990s through MTV, it was seen as an alien cultural invasion. But Bhangra's return and Bhangra's globalization has led to a realignment of the regional and national within the Indian nation state. I would first like to summarize the cultural invasion theory, which has often been invoked not only in the present context but at different points in the histories of nations. The idea of alien cultures invading a particular space, which is based on essentialist notions of culture, on the indigeneity argument, the idea that cultures are autochthonous or they should be autochthonous. But when one looks in Indian history, one finds that Indian history is marked by invasion rather than insularity. And Punjab, a region in North India, which is now divided between the states of India and Pakistan, forms the mouth of this invasion. If instead of looking at the hybrid mutants, the return of hybrid mutants of Bhangra as a form of cultural invasion, if one were to look at this culture as being constituted through a series of invasions and assimilations, one would be able to see invasions as catalyzing host cultures to reinvent themselves rather than destroying them. Now, we are going to look at the Punjabi harvest rites transmutation into global dance music, and we are going to frame it against the purity fetish that leads to the denigration of new Bhangra hybrids as vulgar, to locate it within a history of mixing and contamination. And we will conclude with genuine concerns about the reification of Punjabi ritual as popular music. Let me first take you to Punjab, the land of 5 rivers. Punjab is derived from a Persian word meaning Panj and Aab. Panj means 5 and Aab means waters. And Bhangra, as other dance genres of Punjab, originated in the doabas of the 5 rivers of Punjab that you can see in the map here: Indus, Jhelum, Ravi, Chenab, Satluj, Vyas. Indus is the 6th river, but these are the 5 rivers: Jhelum, Ravi, Satluj, Vyas and Chenab. And the dance genres originated in the doabas of these rivers. Now, there are 2 ways of looking at cultural contact. We can look at cultural contact as contaminating, or cultural contact as rejuvenating. And but irrespective of how we look at it, we find the presence of contact zones even within nations which are constructed or produced as pure notions. And in India, we find the presence of several contact zones in the past. Particularly, Punjab has formed a historic contact zone due to its geography of invasion and due to its boundaries, which have always been porous and fluid. Due to the porousness and fluidity of the boundaries, cultures have always tended to leak across boundaries, and not just of Punjab, but the entire region, which Arabs call Al-Hind, on the other side of the river Indus, whose boundaries were always uncertain, always shifting, which showed more examples of contact rather than of purity. But with the formation of nation states, the boundaries, which were fluid and porous, began to be fixed, as in this border policing of the Khyber Pass. The Khyber Pass, which has historically constituted a porous boundaries, which has allowed leakages not only of culture, but not only of goods, but also of culture across the boundaries of Al-Hind, particularly of Punjab. Khyber means across the river or divide, and is derived from Habar, which also translates into the word Hebrew. Punjab as the old borderland the historical site of civilizational contact, the place of fluid identifications will be used here to interrogate fixity of boundaries and categories that are implicit in the meaning of the word divide. And the agents of these crossing of boundaries, of boundary crossings, are the people known as the Khana Badosh people of Punjab. Khana Badosh literally means house on shoulder. We met the Khana Badosh people earlier in their other avatar as the Roma people, or as a subset known as Gurjars, who Aparna Rao and Joseph Berlin call the other nomads, because the other nomads not only performed useful functions like blacksmith, basket weaving, carpet weaving, working on the fields, but also carried goods and were entertainers. Now, Punjabi culture, as opposed to some of the other cultures of India, shows a greater influence of the other great tradition which has formed the twin cultural stream in India, in addition to the great Sanskritic tradition, namely the Perso-Arabic great tradition. It demonstrates a greater cultural continuity with the Perso-Arabic great tradition. For instance, modern Punjabi poetry is believed to have a Sufi heritage, and this culture of mixing with others and appropriating select features to reinvent themselves in a fashion that the other becomes part of the self without ceasing to be the other has been wonderfully explained by Avtar Bra in her categories of Ajnabi, Gair and Apna. Of course, she did this in the context of the diaspora space, but they are equally relevant to Punjabi culture as a whole. And the Khana Badosh people, who Joseph Berlin and Rao seen as characterized with certain qualities, particularly the qualities of azadi, freedom, and lachak, which is flexibility. While the bourgeois patrons of the Khana Badosh people attempt to stabilize tradition by returning to particular origins, hereditary performers have displayed characteristic openness and eclecticism in absorbing new and external influences. So, the three traits that characterize the Khana Badosh people are flexibility, freedom and mobility, and their openness to the other, their openness to new influences. With urbanization and modernization, and the ending of the aristocratic systems prevalent in India until quite late, until the 20th century, one finds that the traditional systems of patronage died, and this patronage system, in which mirasis means mixed in Persian, and it refers to a category of hereditary performers of different kinds, who performed for upper caste landowners and royalty. With the alteration of patronage systems and traditional performance etiquette, the performing communities such as those of the mirasis were marginalized. This went together with the survey and collection of formal collection and preservation of music by the state through the setting up of units for collection and preservation of folk music, particularly by the All India Radio at its 20 stations. And this is how Punjabi folk music was transformed, not only transformed in this through recording and electronic mediation, but also through its transmission as radio song. When the radio song was born, a lot of the folk music was transformed into the radio song by a new category of performers called the popular singers, who now created their own songs in the shape of folk songs, which ironically entered the folk repertoire. Now, the emergence of this electronic mediation of folk and traditional music in Punjab, it and the birth of the professional singer or performer destroyed the ubiquitous musicality and collective composition characteristic of folk music by privileging the individual performer. Now, when we look at Bhangra, we need to, within this background, let's examine what is Bhangra and whether it's dance, because in India it's largely understood as dance, but in the diasporas it's understood as music. What is Bhangra? Let's look at its origins. So, there are several myths of Bhangra's origins. According to some, it has particularly the Punjabi dance scholar Nahar Singh. It has pastoral origins and it originated as a work song mimicking the agrarian activities of farmers who performed the Bhangra to lighten their work. On the other hand, Atul Sharma, the musician and music director, believes that its origins are martial and it emerged, it imitates the exercises for soldiers. It's a warlike dance. And yet another myth traces it back to Shiva worship, in sacred, attributes it sacred origins and traces it back to Shiva worship, dating back to the earliest times, and says that it was found as early as 300 BC during Alexander's invasion of Punjab. Now, Punjabi dance genres are do not traditionally have not followed the European classification systems and have been divided or classified along the lines of A, gender, B, region, and 3, sect. So, on one hand, we have among the 12 Punjabi dance genres identified by some scholars, 4 are performed exclusively by females, such as genres such as Jaggo, Sami, Gidda and Kikli. The other 8 are performed by males, and out of these, Bhangra, Jhumar, Dhamal, Luddi are originated in specific regions in undivided Punjab, and some of them were attached to particular sectarian practices such as Juli, which was performed at the mazars of peers. So, it's more of a Sufi genre, whereas Gatka and Dankara are attached to Sikh practices. Now, what happened to these genres which were divided according to, which originated in specific regions of undivided Punjab? With the partitioning of India and the partitioning of Punjab in 1947, some of the genres which originated in parts of West Punjab, such as Jhumar, almost died in India, and others gained more prominence. Because Jhumar was a dance which was formed in particular parts of West Punjab. Now, in 1947, a new genre which was based on an earlier genre called Bhangra, a marginalized Punjabi dance genre called Bhangra, was invented in 1947. It was privileged over the more popular Jhumar and co-opted in the production of Punjabi regional identity. So, and in 1985, the same dance which was constructed or produced after independence and sometime after 1947 in the 1950s, was hybridized by second and third generation British Asian musicians with Western pop beats and appropriated in the production of British Asian identity. At the same time, it was also being modernized and appropriated in the consolidation of Punjabi regional identity within India. And in 1990s, these genres, which were reinvented, which emerged in UK and India, were crisscrossed to produce a transnational Punjabi identity. So, what I am trying to say is that Bhangra, this is not the first time that Bhangra has been reinvented. There have been several stages in the reinvention of Bhangra, and if one may say, the Bhangra as we know it in India today was something which was invented, which was produced in the 1950s through the collusion of aristocratic and state interests in its co-option in the production of post-colonial Punjabi identity with the complicity of hereditary Punjabi performers. And we have only anecdotal evidence to illustrate, to substantiate how this happened. It's believed that the students of a particular college of the dance department of a college in Patiala were trained by the hereditary Bazigars of Sunam, mainly a dhol player or dholi called Pannaram Tsunami, and put together a dance which amalgamated steps from various Punjabi male dances. Now, for want of a better name, perhaps they use the term Bhangra to describe their dance. At the performance was present the then Maharaja of Patiala, who was so impressed by the dance put up by the team that he decided to, he along with other state interests decided to stage these dance in schools and colleges, as well as in school and college functions and also in state functions. And particularly its performance at the first Republic Day parade resulted in the mapping of Punjabi regional identity, post-colonial Punjabi regional identity on this particular dance genre. We have only a few images to show what the dance looked like, and this is one rare image of Punjabi refugees in Kurukshetra performing a it's not called Bhangra, the title is Punjabi male dance, and as you can see in the picture, it looks very different from contemporary understanding of Bhangra. And now the Pepsu team, which was trained by Pannaram Tsunami, is seen performing at the opening of the Bhangra Nangal Dam. It's staging a performance abroad. We don't have a picture of the performance in the Republic Day parade, but prominent in this picture are the three brothers, the Deepak brothers, middle class performers again, highly educated middle class performers who were students of the dance department and who Pannaram Tsunami trained to be dancers. The Deepak brothers, Manmohan Deepak particularly, and his two brothers. You can see them all as in the three pictures, and you have this image of the Pepsu team. I must explain what is Pepsu. Punjab was divided not once, but once again, not only in 1947, but once again in 1966, when it was bifurcated into Punjab and Haryana, and some parts of it went to Himachal, and a few parts went to Rajasthan as well. So the state at that time was called Pepsu, and this is the team of that entire state before Punjab was further bifurcated. Interestingly, the only visual documentation of Bhangra that we have is a Bollywood film, and this also occurred through an accident. Again, we have anecdotal evidence of how this came to be. The first Bhangra team performing at the first Republic Day parade was a performance watched by the late Nargis Dutt, who was leading heroine, Bollywood heroine, Hindi film heroine at that time, who was so impressed by the dance that she commented that this was the first time that she'd seen a proper male dance. Pehli baar mardon wala naach dekha. This is what she said. And perhaps it is her recommendation that inspired Raj Kapoor and later B.R. Chopra to invite the team to perform in their films. So, we have the first performance of Bhangra in a film called Naya Daur, which features among others the legendary Dholi Panaram, Manohar Deepak and others. We find that in this particular dance, in this particular song, the compulsions to fit the traditional dance into the Bollywood song and dance format does constrain the dance and alters the dance to some extent, but at the same time there is a genuine attempt on the part of the filmmakers to preserve the purity of the dance and to showcase the original dance, the Bhangra team's movements in the second half of the dance, but gradually Nrit or pure dance gives way to song and dance in the Bollywood format. We find that following its Bollywood foray, Bhangra has been inflected by the Bollywood grammar in terms of costumes, in terms of its choreography and in terms of its presentation. Let us take a quick look at these two performances made by the Pepsu team in two Bollywood films. Let us begin with the earlier film, which is the film of which is the earlier film is Naya Daur, and the song is called Main Koi Jhoot Bolya. Let us look at that film first and then we will move on to the other film, which is Naya Daur. This is the image and I will take you to the video in a minute. So, let us look at this first performance of Bhangra in a Bollywood film.
कि मैं झूठ ते अपने दिल तो पुछ के वेखो कौन नहीं है चोर ते कि मैं झूठ बोलिया कोई ना कि मैं कुफर तोलिया कोई ना कि मैं जहर खोलिया कोई ना भाई कोई ना भाई कोई ना ओए एवें दुनिया देवे दुहाई झूठा पौंदी शोर ते अपने दिल तो पुछ के वेखो कौन नहीं है चोर ते कि मैं झूठ बोलिया कोई ना ते कि मैं कुफर तोलिया कोई ना ते कि मैं जहर खोलिया कोई ना भाई कोई ना भाई कोई ना ओ बल्ले 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 बल्ले.
So, here we have the legendary dancer Manohar Deepak performing, and if you look at his dance, you will find that the dance movements are very different from the present day Bhangra movements as we understand it, because it seems to be more graceful, more fluid and closer to Jhumar rather than Bhangra. More shoulder movements, more graceful movements, and this form, which was performed by a team of 3 generations, father, grandfather and son in West Punjab. And only now then you find him using the Sialkoti step, the Sialkoti hand gesture, which has become synonymous with Bhangra in the present.
ਮਾਰ ਮਾਰ ਕੇ ਬਣਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਅਮੀਰ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਚੋਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਤਕਦੀਰ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਮੈਂ ਝੂਠ ਬੋਲਿਆ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਫਰ ਤੋਲਿਆ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਕੀ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਹਿਰ ਘੋਲਿਆ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਭਾਈ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਭਾਈ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ
Let's move from Jagte Raho to Naya Daur to see that there is already a transformation in Bhangra when we move from Jagte Raho to Naya Daur, because the dance is already altered in this particular sequence. We have this shot of the legendary Dholi. The song begins with a shot of the legendary Dholi, Banaram Tsunami. You can see the Dholi at the base is performing the dance, and you can see the entire Pepsu team in the background. Now this is the second half of the dance. The first part of the dance is already transformed into a song and dance sequence in the manner of a Bollywood song and dance, but in the second part, in this part you see the showcasing of the Pepsu team, particularly the acrobatics for which it was known. So there's the ring dance that Bhangra is supposed to be originally, you can see in this particular movement. So this is the sole video documentation of Bhangra that we have, and it exists in a Hindi film, even though albeit in a transformed form. And we have some images of the Dholi and the entire team. So this ring dance, which with the Dholi at the center and the dancers dancing around him, preserves the original format of the Bhangra, where the Dholi rather than the singer was at the center of the group. The dancers danced in a ring around the Dholi. This preserves that format, the original format. It doesn't alter it, but it does so only in the second part of the dance. Whereas the first part of the dance, it begins with this movement actually, and you see that already it's transformed into a couple dance, because Bhangra was largely a male dance, and we have the male dancers entering with a stick, but you have women dressed in Rajasthani dress rather than Punjabi dress, and it becomes a couple dance. The second change that you find in this borrowing of Bhangra in a Bollywood film is that this is a Dilip Kumar film, and Dilip Kumar is the leading actor, the tragedy king, leading actor of that time. The film cannot afford to put the star in the background, and therefore, instead of the Dholi, one has to, in order to fit into the song and dance format of the Hindi film, the legendary actor Dilip Kumar has to be given the dance moves. So, and the only dance moves he has is the Sialkoti moves. So this is a major transformation. This competition between Ajit and Dilip Kumar, where Dilip Kumar is mainly using Sialkoti moves and Ajit seems to be better dancer, but you have some images of Banaram Tsunami. So with this, we conclude the first invention or reinvention of Bhangra in post-colonial India, and its appropriation first in the production of Punjabi cultural identity, and then its documentation in a couple of Hindi films, mainly in Naya Daur, because the first film showed more of the Jhumar movements. We will move on to the subsequent reinventions of Bhangra in the next unit.